star, it's not just a logo, man. It is a heavy, crushing weight. It's the soul of Dallas, a billion-dollar monument to the ego, the brand, the sheer unapologetic spectacle of Jerry's world. The ghost of Tom Landry weeps every time he looks down at AT&T Stadium. But right now, that star feels like a massive, swirling black hole sucking the absolute life out of this franchise. Hey everyone, Eduardo here, and today we gotta talk about the man himself. We gotta talk about the architect, the grandstander, the one and only Jerry Jones. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jerry is absolutely losing his grip on the reality of modern football, and his handling of the 2025 season was a masterclass in front office malpractice. Listen, if you think running it back with Jerry acting as the supreme overlord GM is a good idea, you're watching a different sport, my friend. Let's look at this horrific 2025 season. 7-9-1. 7-9-1. We missed the playoffs. We became a national laughingstock again. Jerry stood up there in front of the cameras a few days ago, looked us right in the eye, and literally said, had we played a lick of defense last year, we would have had ourselves a real playoff run. A lick of defense? Jerry, you built the defense. You traded away Micah Parsons. Yeah, let's talk about that. You trade a generational, game-wrecking pass rusher to Green Bay because of a contract holdout, you bring in Kenny Clark, and then you watch your defense give up a franchise-worst 60 touchdowns? 60! You could put 11 trash cans on the field and they might accidentally deflect a pass, but not us. Whisper, confidential. I got a text from a front office source inside the building late last night. He told me Jerry was so convinced the Quinnen Williams mid-season trade would fix everything that he completely ignored the gaping holes in our cover 2 shell. He thought one defensive tackle could plug a sinking ship while the secondary burned. Let's talk deep scout talk for a second. When you evaluate a general manager, you evaluate them like a raw prospect coming out of the combine. You look at their 40-yard dash. How fast can they pivot when a defensive scheme is failing? You look at their hand size. Can they hold on to premium talent, or do they let it slip through their fingers like Micah? Jerry's GM scheme fit is fundamentally broken. He wants to play this aggressive, wide nine, attack-first front office style, always hunting for the shiny blockbuster trade like bringing in George Pickens, but he ignores the structural integrity of the roster. You can't run a too-high safety look when your cornerbacks are getting burned on every double move. I mean, look at our run fits last year. We had defensive ends crashing down from a 5 technique, completely losing outside contain, while our linebackers were stepping into the wrong gaps against basic inside zone concepts. We were getting gashed in the A and B gaps because Jerry thought you could just plug and play guys. The pad level was too high, the point of attack was a mess, and the functional strength of our interior line was 0. Jerry evaluates a 3-technique tackle by looking at his jersey sales, not his block shedding or his ability to anchor against a double team. Let's be real about the offensive side of the ball for a second, because Jerry loves to point at the stats. He loves to brag that we had a 4,000-yard passer in Dak Prescott. He loves to scream from the mountaintop about getting Javonte Williams a 1,000-yard rushing season and having CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens both cross 1,000 receiving yards. That is the ultimate Jerry Jones distraction tactic. It is the classic shiny object syndrome. He wants you looking at the fantasy football numbers, so you ignore the fact that our run defense was allowing a historically pathetic 125.5 yards per game on the ground. You cannot win in January, or in our case, you can't even get invited to the dance in January when you are giving up 24 rushing touchdowns. Opposing offenses were looking at our defensive front, licking their chops and running duo and power concepts right down our throats. They were climbing to the second level, completely erasing our linebackers and making our safeties make business decisions in the open field. Before I lose my mind over this, do me a favor, hit subscribe, smash that like, and I need to see your takes in the comments. Am I crazy, or is this Jerry Jones 2025 defensive disaster a fireable offense if he wasn't the owner? Tell me what you think below. Okay, let's get back into the dirt. We finally fired Matt Eberflus. Thank goodness. The guy was calling a defense that looked like Swiss cheese in a hurricane. But who hired him? Jerry. Who kept him around while we gave up 377 yards a game? Jerry. Whisper, confidential. Another source inside the building literally grabbed me in the hallway last week and said the defensive meetings in November were a morgue. The players knew the scheme was broken, but word from the top was to stay the course. Stay the course right off a cliff. Now we're in 2026, and Jerry says he is busting the budget. He goes out and signs Rashawn Gary. He brings in Jalen Thompson, Kobe Durant, PJ Locke. He's panicking. It's like watching a guy who just totaled his Ferrari trying to buy a bunch of duct tape and premium polish to fix it. I talked to a pro scout yesterday, an insider quote right from the film room. He said, Gary is a great fit for Christian Parker's new 3-4 front, but Jerry is buying past production to cover up his own draft misses. It's a bandage, not a cure. That's 3 sources right there painting a picture of pure chaos. Whisper, confidential. Here is the scariest thing I heard all week. A very high-ranking source inside the building told me Jerry genuinely believed the 2025 roster was the best he's ever assembled. When we finished 7-9-1, it broke his brain. He is operating purely on emotion right now. That is terrifying. An emotional billionaire with a checkbook. Deep breath in, exhale. Jerry is trying to rewrite history, acting like this was all just a fluke of injury issues. No, Jerry, it was hubris. But part of me, the sick, twisted part of me that bleeds silver and blue, kind of respects the madness. He's doubling down. He is pushing all the chips into the middle. Whisper, confidential. My last source inside the building, a guy who's been there since the Campo days, whispered to me, if this 2026 defense doesn't work, Jerry might just clean house completely. Everyone, including the front office scouts who nodded along. So buckle up, Cowboy Nation. Jerry Jones is at the wheel, the brakes are cut, and we are either winning a Super Bowl or driving straight out of the Grand Canyon. There is absolutely no in-between anymore. I want to see how this plays out, but I should have known better than to trust the front office blind. I'll be here covering every single car crash along the way. Stay loud, stay angry, and keep repping the Star.